So I've made burgers the past few Saturdays, decided to make another one. Didn't know what to make though, and I thought, what if I could turn a beef Wellington into a burger? So that's what we're going to try here. We got some prosciutto, some American cheese, mushrooms, ground beef. I'm going to also use some mustard. We're going to start off though by making 3-ounce burger patties. Those I think will be the perfect smash size. I did 3.5 ounce last week, and I think they were slightly bigger than I was looking for, so we're going to try 3 ounces here. This is just straight up 80-20 ground beef. I would prefer 75-25, but it's harder to find in grocery stores, so we're just going to use straight up 80-20. To simulate the mushroom duxelle, we're going to just saute some mushrooms. We're going to try to make them into small bite-sized pieces. That way they sit on top of a burger nicely. Try to get around this consistency. You could keep them bigger if that's how you like them, but I don't want to take one bite and pull out an entire mushroom. So we're going to do 2 of these small cremini mushrooms. They might actually be baby bellas. Not sure what the difference is. But throw those into a pan, a little bit of oil, and just kind of cook them as if you're making the duxelle, but you don't need to cook all the liquid out completely the same way. Just get them nice and browned. Also slightly salt these. You don't need to do a lot. The prosciutto will have salt. The meat will be salted. American cheese is slightly salty by nature. Don't worry about it too much. We're going to cook also on my little griddle here, so I'm just going to lightly oil that as it starts to come up to temperature. And then we're going to cook these burgers. Don't pack them too tightly. Keeping them slightly loosely packed is what helps smush them, smash them, whatever you want to call it. So make nice balls, but not too thick. I got a nice new metal spatula now, and I got this really nice bacon press that I'm going to use to hopefully up my smash burger game. But let's find out. Mushrooms have cooked down very nicely. The liquid has come out, but they're also starting to brown. I threw a little bit of garlic powder in there because that's how I like them, but you do not need to do that. Now let's get these burgers cooked. Take them, throw them onto the griddle. You don't need to, George Motes likes to brown one side and then smash the other. I don't like that. I just throw a piece of parchment paper over, and we're going to then smash that down fairly nicely. First try, didn't like how thin it was, but the second one got it right where I want it. You can go even thinner than this if you want. My stove is giving a little bit, so I can't get the full pressure down there that I want, but that's exactly how I want it. While your burger's cooked, though, throw a piece of prosciutto on there. Just let that brown and get crispy in the background, and then salt your burgers. As this is going on, I like to just make sure with the spatula that the edges are nice and thin. That way you get those brown, crinkly bits. That's the goal of a smash burger. And just make sure you check in on that prosciutto. You don't want it to burn. Once it gets to the point where it looks like a nice sheet of bacon like that, crispy, but not burnt, pull that off. I'm just going to lay it on a piece of paper. That way some of the excess oil comes off. Make sure your burger's not sticking at this point. They're not ready to flip quite yet, but I just don't want them fully stuck. Once they are ready to flip, though, go ahead and flip them over, and you'll get this really nice, beautiful brown bits like that. That's exactly what you're looking for in a burger. But what I'm going to do to make this like a Wellington is I'm going to throw a little mustard on them at this point. Normally you would coat the Wellington meat in mustard and let that cool down with the mustard on it. So we're going to do the same thing here. Use whatever mustard you like, but just get that on the burgers while they're hot, and then we're going to layer the cheese over that. This is my typical white American. I think it's the best American cheese. So just throw that on there, and now for about 30 seconds, we're going to just let that melt down. I'm going to speed it up for you here so you can see what it does, but American cheese just melts beautifully. Now let's start to assemble this burger. We're using the same brioche buns I've used previously. They're Trader Joe's buns. They're fantastic. We're going to put a little mustard and a little bit of mayo on the bun. Only on the top one I'm going to do mayo, though. The bottom one's going to stay mustard. Just spread that out, and then the mushrooms we're going to throw right onto this top bun. I should have drained the oil first. That was just dumb on my part, but try to not get too much oil into that bun. But these are the exact size and color bits of mushroom I want. I cut that prosciutto piece in half, put one on the top and the bottom, and now we're just going to lay these burgers. I did double because a Wellington is a lot of meat, so I wanted to make sure that this was a nice thick burger, and 2 patties was the best way to accomplish that. But now let's assemble it, throw that top bun on, eat any mushrooms that pop out. Let's cut this open and give you a nice little cross section, though. See how we did. And damn, that's a good looking burger. But the only thing that matters is, how does this burger taste? So we're about to do that, but just look at that beautiful cross-section. You got the mustard, cheese, the mushrooms, you got those prosciutto bits on the top and bottom. And no joke, this is one of the best burgers I have ever made. It does slightly taste like a Wellington. Give it a try.